I'm your host, Tanya. Tonight we have made it back to Thursday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody has enjoyed their week so far. We have made it all the way to December the 4th, guys. Listen, this week is moving right along. It has already been a week since Thanksgiving, guys. And I'm telling you, December is going to fly right on out of here. And I'm telling you, this weather that we're having, especially where we are, is cold and frigid. They also said that we might be getting some snow tomorrow, possibly. So we will see, guys. We will see. But yes, I decided to go live tonight because we're going to talk about the state of the economy going into the holiday season, okay? We're getting a lot of mixed reactions. A lot of people are still feeling the uncertainty. A lot of people are feeling the pinch as far as the money and their budget for the holiday season. Okay, we just got word, like I said last or a couple days ago, that one of the major retails and restaurants closed on December the 1st, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later on today. All right. But first, guys, again, I hope y'all are doing well. We are going to talk about how Americans feel about getting through the Christmas holiday. Okay. Surprisingly, we made it through the Thanksgiving. Okay. But now we're approaching Christmas. And this is more because of gift giving and the budget for just regular expenses right now. A lot of people are saying retailers are hurting terribly. Okay. Walmart is seeing a huge decline. Of course, Target is seeing a huge decline. But even some of the clothing stores like Belks and even some of the high end stores as well, Coach, Michael Kors, all that stuff is going, is they're not seeing the sale numbers like they normally would do, you know? And a lot of it has to do with, people just don't have the excess. They don't have the extra money to spend towards getting gifts and things like that, right? Now we're going to talk about the K&W because I mentioned that a couple days ago on Monday, how that restaurant couldn't even make it to the end of the year, guys. They didn't even give their employees a heads up to let the people know that they're not even going to be in operation going into the end of the year. That's sad. That's really, really sad, And when you really look at it, it's like, the companies that they don't care, when they get in a position where they can't make it and they can't, how can I say, they can't really do anything for the American people anymore. Guess what? They just shut the doors. There's no recourse. They don't care about people with their families and kids. They interviewed a lot of those people that worked at those restaurants, especially K&W, and a lot of them had been working there for years. They dedicated their time, they dedicated their energy, and they didn't even give them a heads up. And what's so sad about it is, you make it through Thanksgiving, you would think they could try to get to the end of the year at least. But guess what? They couldn't even do that, you know? So it just goes to show how hard it is, especially for businesses, to make it in this economy as we speak. Because I'm telling you, as we're approaching the Christmas holiday, we're going to start seeing more and more people drive up credit card debt, and a lot of bills are not going to get paid, especially going into the Christmas season. So it's sad, that people are relying on credit cards. They're relying on different things to make it, and that your regular income is not stretching enough to keep you going from month to month, especially during the holiday season, right? But yeah, we're seeing a lot of people say things like, they don't know how they're going to pay their bills. They're behind on their bills. And if it's government workers, they're still trying to play catch up too. Luckily they got a little assistance for Thanksgiving, but again, are they going to do it again for December? That's something we're definitely going to keep an eye out to see is, SNAP benefits and all that stuff. Is all that stuff going to remain? Or is that stuff is just, it might be going away for good by the end of the year. There may not be any more assistance, right? So it's something to really think about. I tell people save, okay? Put away something. I don't care if it's $10, $20, stash it somewhere. Okay? I mean, don't spend everything you have. Don't spend everything you make. Put away some money. Set aside, especially for emergencies, because you just never know, right? If you got a savings plan at work, if you got a 401k, something where your money can grow. Okay, that's going to be the key. Of course, I'm in banking, so I always advise people to put your money in a money market or a CD or even an IRA savings. Those three are going to yield the highest interest for your money. The regular savings accounts right now are not really yielding that much, and checking accounts either, but money markets, IRAs, CDs, things like that, especially the 12-month CD, you're going to see a lot more yield on your money than just putting it into a regular savings account. All right. So yeah, it's crazy, guys. They even said credit card debt now is going through the roof, okay? Because what's happening is people, they don't have the extra, right? So they rely on those credit cards to get them through the month. Well, guess what? Most credit cards have a lot of high interest, okay? And so what typically happens is they use the money, their balances start growing, and then it gets to the point where the balances are so out of control, you can't get the balance down because that interest is eating away up at that money every single day, which takes away from the money that you could be using, So I tell people, if you're going to use a credit card, use like an American Express or something with 0% interest, something where you can get all your money back, because that 25 and 30% interest on those credit cards, it just eats up all of your money. Put your money into like a savings or a money market, or not even a savings, but a money market or a CD or an IRA. Those three are going to yield you the most interest to grow that money. Okay. Because I'm telling you, in this day and time, you've got to start looking out for yourself more and more. Okay. Companies don't care. Okay. Put away some money. Save as much as you can. I don't care if it's $10. I don't care if it's $20. I don't care if it's $5. Something where you can have a stash to yourself. Put away in an account where, like I say, it's going to yield you some money in the end, So that's what I would do. I do try to do my best in, putting away some money in case of emergencies, right? The rule of thumb is you want at least 3 to 6 months, preferably 6 months of emergency fund, But if you got at least 90 days, that will still help you. Shoot, I don't care if it's 1 month, at least you still got a little time to maneuver in case of an emergency, okay? Like I say, Americans are feeling the pinch, okay? They don't have that excess. Not all Americans, but there's quite a bit of percentage that I'm seeing are saying that they don't know how they're going to make it through going into January, right? And now Donald Trump is proposing something about tariffs on social media, something about he wants to raise taxes on something about social media. And I said, now that's going to be a disaster. He's already wearing his welcome already. But if he starts tackling the internet, I'm telling you guys, there's no end to what he may do, okay? And like I said, we just getting into the first year of his presidency. We still got 3 more years to go, okay? So, we got a little ways to go before we can start, planning for things. But in the meantime, still put away some stuff for yourself, okay? If you need to get your cars fixed, go ahead and get that stuff fixed, because again, this weather and the way the economy is now, you gotta have solid transportation. I told y'all just a week or so ago, I had to go ahead and get me another car. Wasn't expecting to, right? Now I did have a secondary car that I could have drove a little longer, but that car is a little older too. So in the end, you still need a solid vehicle. I don't care who you are. Something affordable, something that's good on gas, something that can get you from point A to point B. Okay. And that's all I'm saying. You don't even want to risk that. Have good solid transportation. Make sure all your stuff in your home, whether it's your apartment or a house, make sure you got enough food stashed away. Okay. If you got a power generator, get one of those in case the power go out, right? Get you some candles, get you some batteries, get you some packs of water, get you some beans and rice and things like that that you can store on those shelves, and you don't have to worry about rushing out to the grocery store and getting this food, because I'm telling you guys, if the economy gets to the point where the food might be a shortage, okay? That's all I'm saying, is just to prepare. I would rather have enough than to be trying to scrounge around and try to get stuff, right? I wouldn't want to do that. That's just me, okay? And for me, luckily, I got plenty of stuff around here, so I don't have to worry about that. But y'all think back to COVID days. Think back to when the government, well, the whole nation was shut down during COVID. Look at how many people flocked to the grocery stores just for toilet paper. I mean, people were fighting over toilet paper, tissue paper, okay? Because it was a frenzy. People were starting to panic. That's what I'm saying. You should be buying things as you go, okay? Stock up on your toiletries, your laundry detergent. Get non-perishable foods, okay? Beans, canned goods, things that's not gonna spoil, okay? And stock up on that stuff. Build your cabinets up. Get plenty of medicines too. Plenty of flashlights, batteries, any chance you get, stash as much as you possibly can in this economy, okay? Because I tell you, when you prepare, then you don't have to worry about going all the way out and fighting the crowd and going in the line and they running out of stuff. You'll already have your stuff at the house, okay? But yes, like I said, Americans are feeling the pinch. Some are concerned, okay, some are worried. Not everybody, but there's quite a few people that is saying, this is just not feasible. I had one comment on my live or on my video on Monday saying they praised Donald Trump, and I said, you know what? Well, there's always going to be somebody that loves Donald Trump, no matter what he does. He can. I mean, he's running the country in the ground. We all know that, right? But some people are just oblivious. They really think that he's doing a great job, and for whatever reason, we can't control those people. We can only control the people who see it the real deal. They see the truth and the reality of what's really going on, okay? And those are the people that I'm speaking to right now, all right? Now, let's talk about it, guys. I told you we were going to talk about Candace Owens for a few minutes, too. We brought her up back on Monday, and we talked about, Jasmine Crockett and all of this and all of that. Well, now Candace Owens she's changing her tune a lot. She's distancing herself more and more from the Trump administration. And, you might as well, right? One reason is, well, let me say this. Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Everybody know Marjorie Taylor Greene was someone that stood up for Trump, right? She was diehard Republican, and she has announced that she is resigning. She is stepping down. You know why she's stepping down? She's stepping down for a lot of reasons. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene is stepping down because, number one, she's embarrassed. Okay. She's embarrassed because she stood up for a man who pretty much gave her the boot. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to resign all of a sudden. You know why? Because she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed because she stood up for Trump and Trump turned around and called this woman a traitor. A traitor now. Can y'all believe that? I can. That's just how he operates. He doesn't play fair. He plays dirty and he doesn't care who he hurts. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying things like, well, I just want to spend time with my family, and maybe so, right? But to resign, the timing of it is what it is for me. And like I say, Candace Owens and Jasmine Crockett, they were on her like white on rice. Okay. They couldn't get along anyway. They would actually fight each other. Well, really, Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene, those two couldn't stand each other, And Jasmine Crockett said something about, she can't stand the heat. She can dish it out, but she can't take it. She can give you all the heat, but she can't take any heat, right? And it's showing right now. Okay, it's a mess. It's really a mess. You see how he operates. Even from people in the Republican Party, he doesn't care about them either. If you're not rich, if you're not a millionaire or billionaire, and you're not in business with his business dealings, he has nothing to say. He doesn't care about you. Okay. I don't understand why people don't see that. He does not care. All right. So he doesn't. So yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, guys, also let me say this. Everybody asks me, do I like my car still? Yes, I enjoy. Oh God, I love my car, guys. I do. That was the best decision that I decided to do. You know why? Because, honey, I had to. Like I said, I didn't have a choice. It was one of those things where you better do it while you still can, and not wait to the last minute, because it could have gotten worse. It could have got to the point where nobody's going to want that car, and then you're just stuck with it, right? So I just didn't want that. I said, I'm just going to go ahead, just bear it, go ahead and get something else. And it's been a little over 2.5 weeks now, and it drives awesome, guys. I told you I took it home to Thanksgiving, to my sister's house, and they saw it for the first time, and they loved every bit of it. Some of them wanted my car, I think, but ain't nothing like a nice smelling, good, clean car, right? I mean, it's good. I'm glad that I got it, so. But yes, guys, also coming up, I was going to tell y'all, the electrician did come today. Yes, he came first thing this morning. They are going to finish up everything on Monday. They're going to have to run a new wire in one of the bedrooms and get me hooked up again, and then I'll be back to my normal swing. Hopefully Monday night you'll start seeing the videos and stuff again. So I am ready for that as well. Okay, so yeah, he came about 9:30 this morning and checked everything. All my outlets look good, the breakers, everything looks good in the house. And he said, we're just going to have to run a new line. I was just like, okay. So they'll be back on, actually it'll be Monday evening. So I'll probably be ready Thursday, just depending on what time they get through, so. But yes, guys. And also, don't forget, on Saturday, we're going to be with Fun and Entertainment with T. I got some good questions, y'all. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff with this relationship thing, because there's about 3 solid questions that we're going to talk about on Saturday as far as fun and entertainment. So it's going to be good. We're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff that I was like, whoa. Okay. And also, I'm going to leave the link, because some people say they don't get the link to my email address. I am going to leave it in the description of my live video. So if you want to ask me questions, or there's some subjects you want me to talk about, or there's some things you just want to discuss or just get off your chest or whatever, feel free, honey. You can hit me up in the comment section, or if you want to send me an email to that email address that I'm going to send you, you're welcome to do that as well. Okay. Yeah. So, but yes, guys, so I just wanted to at least come on tonight and let you know that things are still moving along with the channel. We are going to incorporate some new stuff coming into January, some new things that I think y'all are going to enjoy. We might even incorporate a music sector as well. So we're diverse in what we're trying to do. Sports and politics is always going to be my core channel, but the fun and entertainment, that's also going to be my secondary channel as well. So I'm excited, guys. I'm excited about the direction of what's going to happen, and some new things that I can't quite tell you yet, as far as, the direction of the channel and where it's going to be. Okay. You will definitely see going into next year, it's going to be awesome. Okay. Awesome, awesome, and awesome. All right. So, yes, guys, but tonight I just really wanted to address how Americans are feeling, okay, as far as the economy. Like I said, the dollar bill is just not, it's not stretching like it should. Okay. You're seeing it in the grocery store. You're seeing it in your housing, your bills, just everything, right? Things are more expensive. And like I say, with KNW, the reason why I keep bringing that up is because this restaurant, like I said, had been around for 88 years. Okay. Now, let me say this too. I do see where the price of their food double for the most part, but that's everywhere. I don't care where you go, it's gonna be double pretty much everywhere you go now, right? You really can't get around that. But even with them doubling the prices, they still couldn't stay open. So that should tell you something. They still got to pay the employees. And for me, what really got me is they just didn't give no employees no notice. None. Now, if you watch the news, you'll see, if you pull in KNW, all of them were shocked. They came to work, they pulled on the door, it was locked. The GM of the KNW restaurant said he just found out that morning. He had a cup of coffee, was going to the restaurant, and they sent an email saying, effective immediate, we are shut down permanently. All restaurants, all locations, and he couldn't believe it, So, like I say, you just don't know how things are going. You could be doing fine one minute, and then all of a sudden, something like this throw a monkey wrench in all your plans. Now, think about all those employees. Think about all those families, all those people that was relying on that income to pay their bills and to get through the holiday season. So it's just a mess, y'all. It's really, really a mess. I'm praying that those employees find things, or they can at least get some unemployment, pretty quickly. We'll have to see. We'll keep an eye. There's a few more restaurants that they say may close the end of this year too. So they said Denny's was one of them. And I want to say, I know TGI Fridays was kind of shaky too. TGI Fridays, Denny's, and it was one other restaurant. I'm going to have to look it up. But they're all on thin ice. They all struggling because people, they don't have the money to go out to eat. Most people are cooking more now, or they're growing their food now, or they're finding cheaper ways to feed their families. And, you can't blame people. Like me, when it's wintertime, honey, I love a one dish meal. It don't bother me none. I love a crock pot. I love anything that I can put. I ain't got to do a whole lot of cooking and stuff. And I got a whole meal for days. I love meals like that. Yes, I do. Don't bother me none at all. I prefer that, right? So, but in this type of weather, who wants to be cooking all the time, right? Get something that is going to stick with you. Like I say, beans, rice, uh, make your pot of soup, stew, chili, chili beans or whatever. Something that is affordable, it's cheap, and it's gonna last you and your family, right? You ain't gotta cook nothing no time soon, right? So, but yeah, but yeah, guys, I just wanted to kind of get on here tonight and talk about how Americans are feeling. Like I said, some have a lot of uncertainty, which you can't blame that because of the way the Trump administration has been operating all year. We're praying that things will be better next year. We pray that everything will get a lot better going into next year, right? People who've lost jobs, we're praying that they get gainful employment and stay gainfully employed, right? People who's been out on the street, who's homeless, who don't have a lot of food, or they lost their home or whatever, we're praying that they get the shelter they deserve, and their kids and everyone taken care of, right? Because like I say, this is the winter time, guys. This is the worst time that you're gonna put anybody out on the street. Okay, so we're gonna cover this more and more, y'all. We ain't through. We're not gonna leave it alone till we start seeing improvements on the economy. And right now, it's just not showing as of yet. Okay, so, but yes, y'all join me back on Saturday. Like I said, we'll be back with fun and entertainment with T, which we'll get back into the relationship sector. We're going to talk about players. We're going to talk about the signs of a player, the signs of a pimp, the signs of a gold digger, which we talked about gold digging a little bit earlier, but there's a lot of other things that we're going to talk about. We've already talked about cheating and stuff like that, but we're also going to talk about signs of a separation, when it's time to separate, when it's time to just call it quits altogether. Because sometimes you just overstay your welcome, honey. You got to be like, you know what, it's over, right? So we're going to talk about all that stuff, right, on Saturday at 8 p.m. Okay, all right. So yes, guys, so if you enjoyed this content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes every time I come on to YouTube. I will be back on Saturday, like I said, with fun and entertainment with T, where we're going to dive deep into the relationship sector. Okay? All right, guys. Well, everybody, I will let everyone go. Everyone enjoy the rest of your night. And I will see y'all on Saturday at 8 p.m. Take care. Bye-bye.